I've watched people walk away from their calling, not because they lacked talent, not because God didn't speak, not because the vision was wrong. They quit for one reason, one single, predictable, avoidable reason. And if you are purpose driven, if you've sensed a call, felt a stirring, heard a word, you are currently at risk of this same thing. In fact, the more passionate you are, the more vulnerable you are. Today, I'm exposing the number one reason purpose-driven people quit. And more importantly, I'm giving you the fix, because this isn't just information, this is survival. I teach believers how to move from purpose to prosperity. I've seen people build businesses and find their calling, and I've watched more quit before they've even started. The difference between them wasn't talent, it wasn't resources, it wasn't faith. It was this one thing. So let me take you back to 1 Samuel 14. Jonathan looked at an impossible situation, an entire Philistine garrison, a cliff face to climb, no army, no guarantee. And he said to his armour-bearer, "Come, let us go over. It may be that the Lord will work for us." Then something remarkable happened. They climbed, they fought, 20 men fell. And then in verse 15, something is said. And there was a trembling in the host, in the field, and among all the people, and the earth quaked. So it was a very great trembling. God showed up. The earth shook. The enemy panicked. Victory came. But here's what most people miss. Jonathan didn't know the trembling was coming when he started climbing. He climbed in faith, not in certainty. He climbed because the calling was clear, not because the outcome was guaranteed. The number one reason purpose-driven people quit is this. They expect the trembling before the climb. They want the earth to shake before they've taken the first foothold. They want the victory before the battle. They want the harvest before the planting. And when the climb is harder than they expected, when their hands slip, when the rocks cut, when the enemy shouts from above, they interpret the difficulty as a sign they miss God. But the difficulty isn't a sign you miss God. The difficulty is the climb. Here's what Jonathan understood that most purpose-driven people miss. Verse 6, it may be that the Lord will work for us. Jonathan didn't have a guarantee. He had a maybe. He had a possibility. He had a God is able, but I don't know his timing. Most people quit because they mistake maybe for maybe not. They hear uncertainty and assume it means closed door. But Jonathan heard uncertainty and saw opportunity for faith. The armor-bearer's response is even more powerful. Do all that is in thine heart. Behold, I am with thee according to thy heart. He didn't say, let's wait for a sign. He didn't say, let's calculate the odds. He said, I'm with you according to your heart. This is the Jonathan principle. Your calling isn't validated by the outcome. It's validated by the obedience. The trembling came after the climb. The victory came after the battle. The shaking came after the faith. You cannot reverse the order. In Purpose to Prosperity, we teach the 4-step Exodus plan. Step 1 is the double agent phase, using your current job to fund your freedom. Nobody's trembling when you do that. Nobody's shaking. You're just being faithful with 5% of your paycheck. So here's my question. Are you quitting because the climb is hard? Or are you quitting because you've actually been told to stop? Most people can't tell the difference. So let me give you a simple diagnostic. 3 signs you're quitting the climb, not the calling. 1, you're discouraged, not convicted. Conviction feels like a clear no. Discouragement feels like exhaustion, disappointment, and a desire to escape discomfort. If you're just tired, you're in the climb, keep going. 2, you're isolated, not disobedient. Jonathan had an armour-bearer. If you're climbing alone, the problem isn't your climbing, it's your lack of covenant companions. You don't need a new vision, you need new people. 3, you're comparing, not consulting. If you're looking at others' victories and feeling like a failure, you're in comparison, not discernment. Jonathan didn't compare himself to Saul's army. He just climbed his hill. So, how do you fix it? How do you stop quitting and start climbing? Step 1, redefine success. Success is not trembling. Success is the climb. If you took 1 step of obedience today, you succeeded. The result belongs to God. Step 2, find your armour-bearer. You can't climb alone. That's why Purpose to Prosperity is a live cohort, not a recorded course. You need people climbing beside you, speaking to your heart, saying, I'm with you according to your heart. Step 3, measure the right thing. Don't measure the Philistines, measure the handholds. Did you take 1 step this week? Did you invest in your freedom? Did you create 1 piece of content? Did you save £1 towards your exodus? That's victory. Step 4, remember the Jonathan promise. There is no restraint to the Lord to save by many or by a few. Your resources don't limit God. Your army size doesn't limit God. Your experience doesn't limit God. The only thing that limits God in your life is your willingness to climb. The vision I shared last week, predators becoming prey, doors of light bursting open, impossible shots going in. That vision is real, but it requires climbers. Jonathan didn't see the trembling before the climb, and neither will you. So here's another question. Will you keep climbing? If you're in a hard season right now, if your hands are slipping, if the enemy is shouting from above, if you're tempted to quit before the climb is harder than you expected, I'm telling you, the trembling is coming, the earth will shake, the victory is on the other side of the climb. This week, I want you to do 2 things. 1, comment "I'm climbing." Put a flag in the ground. Let this community know you're in the fight. 2, if you need armor bearers, someone climbing beside you, speaking to your heart, holding the rope, subscribe to this channel. The climb is hard, but the trembling is coming. Keep climbing. I'll see you at the top.